Okay, let's talk about how we can sustain and expand our resourcefulness, not just right now, but for the rest of our lives. Now, we know that resourcefulness, it helps us to adapt, it helps us to be agile and efficient and consistent and to solve problems in new ways. We also know that it has a lot to do with our prefrontal cortex, that executive functioning, and the interplay with our limbic system, that emotional reasoning and that emotional regulation as well. And it's those two areas really working hand in hand to help us to be more efficient, be more effective. So I want to go through some conventional strategies that we've used, some unconventional strategies that we should use as well. And these should be familiar to you by now. And I'm going to finish up talking about how we can keep that mindset moving forward throughout the rest of our lives and how we can continue to level up our resourcefulness. Okay, so first of all, what are some of the conventional methods that we've talked about? Number one, embrace a growth mindset. So be open to new challenges and be open to opportunities for learning. The second one is actively seek out learning opportunities and new experiences as well. So find ways that you can engage in lifelong learning and you can acquire new skills and new knowledge. Next, practice cognitive flexibility. Engage in activities that challenge your thinking patterns and encourage you to approach problems from different angles. Cultivate emotional intelligence. We know that emotions play a huge role in our resourcefulness. So find ways to develop that emotional intelligence so that you can manage your emotions more effectively and harness their power to fuel creative thinking. Foster a supportive environment. Psychological safety is hugely important. We need opportunities for collaboration and collective problem solving, but we also need opportunities where we have permission to fail and we feel comfortable failing. That brings me to my next point, which is to embrace failure as a learning opportunity. And fear of failure can inhibit our resourcefulness. So we want to embrace that growth mindset towards failure, fail forward, and see it as that opportunity for learning and for growth as well. So those are some of the conventional methods that we've talked about. Let's look at some other unconventional evidence-based methods, still evidence-based methods here, but these are lesser adopted ones. There might be some emerging technology as well, but they're really great to throw in the mix. They might not be widely known or traditional, but they're working. There's evidence behind them. Funnily enough, mindfulness and meditation is still considered unconventional. We know it works. Studies, lots and lots of studies have shown that mindfulness training works. And it works for resourcefulness by reducing our cognitive biases, by improving our problem-solving abilities, and by fostering creativity as well. So it basically trains us to be more present and non-judgmental. And when we do that, we can access our inner resourcefulness more effectively. Another one is embodied cognition. So this suggests that our cognition is not just confined to our brain, but it also extends to our bodies and our interactions with our environment as well. So when we engage in physical activities like exercise or dance or sports, this has a positive impact on our resourcefulness because it enhances our neural connectivity, it stimulates our creativity, and it promotes cognitive flexibility as well. There are other techniques that you can do to take that to a new level. There's cognitive enhancing techniques that are coming out now. You've got transcranial direct current stimulation, which is TDCS, and also neurofeedback. So we use QEEG as well here as well. So they're really cool, really interesting areas where you can really get some objective data on what's happening with your brain and do some things that can modulate that neural activity as well. And that helps to create the new neural pathways that we need, create those new synaptic connections, and strengthen the old pathways that we want. Divergent thinking exercises are great, being able to do things that make you generate a whole bunch of new ideas and new possibilities. Now, there are things that you can use. There's random word association, there's scamper, substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, reverse, and there's also forced connection challenges so that we can think beyond conventional solutions and so that we can explore alternative perspectives as well. And they promote cognitive flexibility and problem solving as well. And one that I really love is hypnagogic state utilization. So the hypnagogic state is when we're in this transitional phase between wakefulness and sleep. And this state is characterized by an increased levels of creativity and access to our subconscious thoughts that we don't usually have. And it's really, really cool. We can start to make new connections and new associations that we wouldn't usually do. And when we intentionally get ourselves into this hypnagogic state through techniques like lucid dreaming or incubation or visualization, we start to be able to tap into our subconscious resources, which enhances our resourcefulness dramatically. Usually we overthink things. So we just need to get ourselves into a state where we allow things to float around and form new connections that we wouldn't have thought about before. So it's really important to understand that a lot of those methods show promise, but they are still learning some of the evidence behind it as well. So just make sure that you've got the right guidance, you've got the right level of caution if you start to use these techniques. And if you need a hand with any of them, reach out to us as well, especially if you're dealing with things that are going to impact your brain function, for example. Now, when we incorporate both these conventional and these unconventional methods, we start to get this dynamic and this ongoing process. And we want to be drawing them from evidence-based academic fields, cognitive neuroscience, affective neuroscience, different psychological fields as well. And we're going to be able to unlock new dimensions of resourcefulness. The conventional methods are great because they're rooted in established scientific evidence-based frameworks. There's a lot of research. We've had time to do a lot of studies on them, so they're really great. Those are things like that cognitive flexibility, growth mindsets. The unconventional methods are equally important as well. We need to stay open to those. We need to keep using those because they challenge those traditional boundaries. And a lot of the time when people try and talk down these things, it's really because there is not enough evidence behind them yet. So have a look and see, what does the current evidence say? Has it been retested? Is it tested for reliability and validity? Do we know that it works? Because just because something's new-ish doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And we have this problem a lot in the health sector and the medical sector, especially where technology comes out and it's proven. And it still takes decades to make any headway. We've got devices in health-based businesses that I own, and these have got over 5,000 academic peer-reviewed studies on this technology, yet it's still taken 15 years for this technology to be adapted in the real world, in the commercial world, because there's still that hesitancy. There's always this hesitancy to change things or to adopt new things. So don't be scared of the unconventional. Just make sure you're working with people that understand it and understand the research and understand the academic foundations for it as well, and that it has been tested in clinical settings. And when we explore these emerging areas of research, this is where we start to get fresh perspectives, and we can actually start to get big jumps and big leaps in the results that we get. Us using QEEG, for example, mapping and measuring the brain, we get insights, objective insights that other people can't get using traditional methods. So unconventional methods, that was not a word at all. Unconventional methods let us go beyond the limitation of traditional methods as well. So to stay up to date with what's working and what isn't, stay curious and stay experimental. Keep that curious and that experimental mindset so that we're receptive to new findings and to emerging practices and to innovative approaches as well, so that we can stay on that forefront. And also, engage in regular introspection and self-reflection as well. Consistently and constantly evaluate the effectiveness of your chosen methods. If you're not getting the results that you want, try different stuff. And when we incorporate these conventional and unconventional methods, we get that full holistic approach to sustaining and expanding our resourcefulness. We get to benefit from the accumulated wisdom of established practices and really smart people doing a lot of evidence-based experimentation with these things. But we also get to explore those innovative approaches that might offer unique advantages and might leapfrog the old ones by going beyond traditional methods as well. What do we really need? We need a balanced approach. We need to embrace a balanced approach so that we can tap into the vast potential of our cognitive abilities. So just remember that resourcefulness, like anything that we're trying to do with our brain, It's not a one size fits all endeavor. We need continuous exploration, continuous experimentation, and continuous adaptation as well, so that we can stay at the forefront. We can evaluate the effectiveness, we can nurture and expand our resourcefulness, and we can find that ability to get those new solutions, adapt to challenges, and thrive in this ever changing, crazy world. That's all for now. Bye now.